Classic versus GuMiho.
Classic starting to the top right of the map. Yonsu, map number 2 in the best of 3. The Protoss player finds himself in the lead with a 1-0. A great game on Polar Knight, and starting to the bottom left, of course, we have his opponent starting in red. Former FX Open player, it is GuMiho, the Towel Terran.
Former FXO, former FOU, former great. I always thought GuMiho would get a Code S Finals. Not even necessarily a championship, but a Finals. Never happened. He's been in Code S, he's been in Code A, he's been in and out. He really, really shined in the GSTL. He famously all-killed Slayers in the GSTL Finals.
He destroyed them in the finals of all things. This is one thing that people did not expect back then.
He beat MMA in the first game where he was behind and came back in a crazy TVT. That game will never be forgotten for me. And Busan, crowd going crazy. That was awesome.
At the beach was absolutely amazing finals, and we just had like GuMiho crushing everybody, getting an all-kill there. It was absolutely amazing. But right now, he's just a shadow of his former self, and he wants to go back to Code S. He wants to put his name out there, but it's not looking good. He's losing map number 1, playing map number 2 right now, and let's see if he finds something that can give him a lead in the series.
I really want to see him just do a regular Reaper expand. No reactor this time. It's a 2-player map. Not a ton of ways to deny the first Reaper of getting to the main base, so he should be able to get in there, scout everything, and there's the orbital, and I think you're going to see just the one Reaper. Standard play here. And having to deal with a little bit of probe harass. Classic not giving him a second to despair with his APM.
I mean, right now, the Reaper is going to give him at least a few scouting information at the beginning so that he knows what's going on in the Protoss player's base, but at the same time, I feel he has to come up with a plan to start things a little differently. We've seen a lot of different openings. We've seen drops into the main base, foregoing an early base in favor of being more aggressive. GuMiho is a player that has really good mechanics and can play a very great mid and late game, but he needs to be better prepared for what Classic is doing. I feel in the first game his idea was to be the aggressor, to be the one who leads the game, who makes his opponent react to him, and that didn't work out. Like, he never really had a response to what Classic was doing.
Look at this, by the way.
Zealots with Charge and Archons, he didn't have anything to counter that.
He didn't have a wall fully set up, no bunkers.
Exactly, no wall, no bunkers, there were no ghosts in his composition, he lost his medivacs, so he was trying to just kill his opponent with drop play, and that failed. And from that point on, it fell off, so the plan game number 2 has to be different.
I really like what Classic did with that probe. He hit it and then went into the main base because he knew that with a normal Terran build, he'd actually be able to get there while the reactor is finishing. Then he could see if there was a factory or not, whether there was a second barracks. He saw everything and even harassed the SCV building the second barracks because there were no Marines out. He knew the Reaper was on the map. That was a really cool, slick little probe move by Classic, and now he sees everything. He knows he can go up here and poke. There's no bunker ready. And GuMiho is actually possibly going to lose some Marines here to this. I think he definitely will lose quite a few Marines to this.
Well, right now we have the Marines still trying to escape here towards the bunker that is being built, but the time warp was absolutely beautiful. The SCVs moving in and trying to block, and they can, but the second Marine goes down as well. He's losing 2 already, and that was a nice move by Classic.
Yep. Meanwhile, a little bit of Reaper harass going on over here. If he can get this reactor, that is terrible for GuMiho. I don't think he's going to get it. But look at this, one Marine falls again.
The Marines are spawning and they move right into a time warp.
Yep. And now he could just kite against these Marines. Needs to be careful his mothership core.
Oh god, this is looking brutal. GuMiho losing his Marines already. He's losing another one. The Stalker's doing so much here. SCV's not mining. He's going to lose a few of those as well. Finally a Stalker goes down. He's trying to take down the Reaper, and he actually will. The mothership core is still sticking around and doing some damage.
Yeah, that was actually... Losing the Stalkers almost makes it not worth it, but it was very annoying. And the mining time loss that you mentioned, it also comes into play. If he had saved those Stalkers, which if he were a little bit more careful, he would have, that would have been atrocious for GuMiho. But, I mean, he even had to make a bunker in his main base, right? That's another 100 minerals. His command center's not even up at the natural yet.
Another thing that I would really like to know is how many Marines he lost. There was at least 5 Marines that he lost there. So in addition to the 4 workers, I think losing the 2 Stalkers is absolutely okay for that, given that he also lost the mining time when he was chasing with all the SCVs. And at the same time now, GuMiho starting to take his own base. I like that he got the engineering bay all that early to get a bit of an early +1 attack upgrade, and of course it will also help him in case that he's once again faced with an Oracle later on, which is not going to happen here now that we see not only the the Twilight Council but the Templar Archive being built, but still gives him that flexibility. But Classic is looking pretty decent here. Having the second base up already, starting a saturation on the low ground, and already on the way into Twilight Council even before the starport has been started.
Yeah, a 10 Harvester lead as well, 35 to 25. As to be expected with Chrono Boost, but GuMiho did take some losses early on, and so much lost mining time. I mean, he's got his Templar Archive before he even takes his gases at his natural. That's how comfortable he feels. Oh my god! He gets away still!
The Reaper is having a bad day here.
That Reaper has been so persistent in getting information and harassing, but he even escaped that beautiful force field by Classic. That was insane.
Yeah, that Reaper's having a horrible day. I mean, at least it survived, but this is one of those days where we're like, oh,
he wishes he were dead, man. This why?
I'm not sure if it's that bad, but yeah, he probably thinks like, why did I wake up this morning? I should have just slept. Yeah, Storm coming into play now. Once again, we have a missile turret being built that helps against the Oracle, that helps against potential DT walk-ins. But yeah, against Storm, he needs something there, and that something is usually Ghosts. But first of all, he has to know what's happening, and with all the force fields, he has absolutely no idea. He has to drop a scan if he wants to find out.
Oh. And, you know, another thing that would be good against Storm is a bunker. That's something he doesn't also have yet. If he just attacks into this with pure Marines, with Stim, and they run forward, and they don't know there are Storms there, probably all of them are going to die. No combat shields, no hit points. The Medevac's not going to be able to heal the Storm damage. This is GuMiho potentially walking into a trap here.
Usually as a Terran player, you know that you can't commit too much to this attack just because of the Mothership Core. Unless you get a very lucky early snipe against MSC, you cannot make that work. But that Storm, you're completely right, could ruin GuMiho's day.
If he stims in here...
If there's a high ground, High Templar, they are there. And yeah, there we go.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Boom, every single Marine taking some damage there. So many of them dying. And that's it. He has to run away.
And those Medivacs will have to get in some overtime to heal all of them up, and that means they're going to be very low in energy.
Exactly. Good luck with that. That definitely going to be depleted energy. Charge halfway done, +2 armor. Warp Prism on the way for harassment if GuMiho commits to another aggressive move. GuMiho is loading up into the Medivacs again, right? In this case, there's no Phoenixes. He might be able to get something done here, but he has to be so careful. He cannot afford to lose any more units. He's already about even in army supply, and his tech is much worse. No Marauders on the map. So many High Templar here, building their energy back up. He didn't even have to make Archons, because the Templar just stormed and got out of there. Well, this is odd. Okay, now he turns around and attacks. And GuMiho cannot lose anything. He has to get out of here.
Yeah, he has to move out, and he has to be very careful that those High Templars don't get close enough for a feedback. Medivac is not going to die to that, but he can really not afford to lose any of them. And if a feedback goes down and suddenly a few Stalkers get in range and get their kills off, that would be atrocious. But he might be able to snipe, not quite the Warp Prism, but at least he's pressuring him right from the beginning.
Oh my god, he loses every single Marine here. The third Nexus is going to go down for free. Worker count, again, GuMiho solid on the workers, right? He's never missing a beat with his worker production. He's always about even in worker supply. With the mules, it means his economy is better. But a good economy doesn't matter if you don't have the army to back it up.
Double Viking to make sure that that Warp Prism is not going to become a threat. But once more, the drops of GuMiho are being intercepted. The High Templars are there for the feedback. And there's also the threat of being shut down by a few Stalkers.
Yep. I mean, even 2 sentries is scary at this point. Look at this. The defense is just solid. This is research by Classic saying, well, GuMiho drops a lot. That's what I heard. He's like watching our cast. He knows what we're talking about with GuMiho. He knows exactly that drop defense is crucial against this guy. And at every single turn, he's got defense ready.
And the Warp Prism is trying to move in again. Is it going to be spotted, though? There's still 2 Vikings on the map.
They're heading in that direction.
They're heading to a direction, but they might actually miss it, and it looks like that's going to be the case. As the scout at the third base, he gets that off immediately. +2/+2 has been started for GuMiho. He will have the double upgrades there, whereas Classic is relying on a single forge, but Chrono boosting that, of course. Does have the charge upgrade by now, could move in there, but he's keeping him at bay the entire time.
Widowmine's being burrowed there, trying to set up a sneaky trap. Does not work. And here we go, the Storm drops. Oh, beautiful reaction here by GuMiho.
Nice.
Not losing a single Harvester there. That was a really great defense.
That was like a panther. Was moving in and bam.
the Vikings are on the chase. They're already on the job. This time, not so much, though. On the defense.
I think the Panther just died.
Well, he's worried about this. This is why. This is just terrible.
Oh, yeah, he's losing those Widow Mines too. Only one of them surviving, getting one shot off, and that's it. The War Prism was finally taken out, but yeah, the Panther-like reflexes there. I think the Panther got very fat and lazy.
Panther definitely being a bit lethargic there. Worker count now 66 to 47. Third base up for the Pro-Osses, making that transition now into the Colossi. And the Viking count still at the 2, the very first 2 that he made for the Warp Prism. He needs to produce a few more of those. His harassment here is still ongoing. That's really funny that happens like this. Probably not enough time to cancel there.
The economy for Classic is also really, really good. Like nearly 2,000 minerals per minute for him now, and also the better income in gas. Mules have to be dropped for GuMiho to catch up with this. But we have for him also the Ghost Academy, so he's really trying to do something against those High Templars now. He needs snipes, he needs DMPs. But Classic is playing such a great game here. At this point, I don't see GuMiho taking it. He needs a win, but so far everything started to look a little bit desperate. Maybe if he can get a good engagement, it would be so good for him. But Classic just doesn't make many mistakes here that GuMiho could capitalize on.
Yeah, this is he's actually got a good position over here on the right side of the map. I think if he goes into the main base here and does a big drop, if he can distract Classic at the third base, maybe he gets something done. I mean, GuMiho really, really is solid with his drops, but he can't afford to lose any more units. Again, you never want to have a Pro-Oss player ahead of you in Army Supply. Look at that. That's how it is right now. 95 to 92, plus the Colossi tech that he's starting to try to deal with. 8 High Templar, which all have probably 2 Storms each. I mean, this is... If he goes in the main base and does a lot of damage and saves most of his army, it's worth it. But if he can't do that, he's better off not dropping there.
There's just no big weakness to Classic's play right now. He's trying to be active on the map with Warp Prisms or with run-bys and anything. He has a fast tech to really defend. He always keeps units at the natural. He doesn't fall into a trap of just positioning his entire army at one of his bases and exposing another. So he, like, the best way to describe his play right now is just super, super solid.
Yeah, he's not making any mistakes with his defense. And GuMiho is literally trying everything to find a weak point. He's going now into the third base yet again with a few units. There's 2 cannons though, 3 cannons, and a High Templar ready for feedback.
And there comes also a Storm even before the first units drop. The Medivac goes down. GuMiho is poking everywhere, but he doesn't find an opening. Classic has a perfect defense against drop play. He's super solid with everything that he does. He has great unit control. He's trying to build a 4th base, and that 4th base was actually killed by GuMiho with a drop that he had there. But the rest of GuMiho's army is already on the run, and he is running fast. And this is a scary army to meet. The EMPs are too late, I would say.
Yeah, they're not really solid.
But they're gone. The ghosts are gone, and now there are storms again.
GG. I mean, that was one of the most anticlimactic GGs we've ever seen because GuMiho's army is in 5 different other places on the map, harassing, not actually all together.
Whoa, GuMiho looked devastated there.
He couldn't get anything done. He played his style, the style that he's so solid with, the style that he's so well known with, but it's like Classic knew. Classic looked like an AI. Like, I mean, he wasn't even like human in his defense. It was so perfect.
Let's just be honest there for a second. Classic outclassed him.
No. No pun intended, but like, yeah. I assume no pun intended anyways.
No, he was just better.
Yeah.
Like, it was not like that he got lucky, that he got like a build order win or anything else, or got a lucky engagement. He was just well-rounded, and GuMiho could not find anything that he could do. Classic just played better and won the series with the 2-0, and well-deservedly so.
And now he's going to play a PvP in the winner's match, and I really feel actually whoever wins this, or whoever loses this winner match is also going to take the 2-0 in the loser's match. Like, I think both of these players are going to Code S. That's my opinion. I think GuMiho and Shine are great players. They have a lot of experience, especially in this studio and in this booth. But I know what's going on with them. They're not on the same level as these 2 Pro-Osses right now.
Yeah, someone has. If one of the 2 players in the loser match today wants to go to Code S, they have to step it up.
They have to step it up like 2 levels.
Both Pro-Os players played just incredibly well. I mean, SOS flawless against Shine. Same is to be said about Classic that we just saw beat GuMiho with the 2-0. So they really have to just sit down and be like, all right,
they want this, you know,
win the losers match, and from that on, I have to carry that momentum into the last match of the day. Because if that doesn't happen, like if they don't step it up quite a bit, then it's over.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a 5-minute break before we go into the winner match. So stay tuned. We'll be back in